In the Gun, episode 111 here of your new favorite WVU football podcast. It is time for our Pick'em Week 10 edition here. Man, it's crazy. We are into Week 10 of the college football season already. Time flies when you're having fun. I am Wesley Euler with the best teammates in the business. I got the signal caller, Jed Drenning, and the runaway beer truck himself, Mr. Owen Schmidt. And brothers and sisters, this episode of ITG brought to you in part, as always, by our friends at Bet Online, where the game starts. Let's recap how we did with our game picks last week. Mr. Jedgar Allen Poe, do you have the deets?
I do. I picked last week as the offense to throw for the most yards in the Big 12, Oklahoma. The curse lives. The curse lives, gentlemen. I picked Oklahoma, and they did not throw for the most yards. They did not place. They weren't in the top five. Oklahoma State threw for the most yards at 286. Central Florida at 284, number two. Baylor 239. Iowa State 238. Nobody really threw for a lot of yards last week. Oklahoma comes in at number 8. So I get 0 points. It was the third time I picked Oklahoma this year, guys. Oklahoma's played 8 games, and I have picked their 3 lowest passing totals. I picked them the first time they threw for 76.
When we're doing this next week, you know who your pick is, all right?
I'm picking it the rest of the way.
Well, no, you can't. You got to pick Slovis this week. The spoiler alerts.
I'm telling you, I'm afraid they'll run for a bunch of yards or something. So that's what's.
Listen, you got that. You could call your own shot over there. You got this.
Owen, for rushing offense of the week, he took and he vowed if they didn't win, he would never pick them again, which I like. Let's see if he sticks to that. He picked Kansas State to run for the most yards. They did not. The team that ran for the most yards in the Big 12 against a team that hadn't allowed more than 125 yards rushing in a single game was Oklahoma State. Fellas, Ollie Gordon is officially in fuego. He is on fire. They ran for 315 yards against a Cincinnati defense that probably has the best D-line in the league. That's the only strength Cincinnati has. They were number 1 at 315. West Virginia coming in at number 2 with 286. Oklahoma, number 3. Of course, I picked them to throw for the yards. There's the rushing yards. See, that's why I'm afraid to do that, Wes. 269 by Oklahoma. Cincinnati, in that loss, actually ran for 258. Kansas ran for 225 to come in at number 5. Owen, your Wildcats came in at number 8 with 179 rushing yards. And like me, no points awarded. Wes, for your scoring defense, which defense would allow the fewest yards in the Big 12? You picked Iowa State at Baylor. They did not finish number 1, but they did place. Here's how it shook out. Kansas State had a shutout against them Houston Cougs.
Yeah, how about that?
Nothing. So they allowed 0. Texas allowed just 6, 2 field goals against BYU. Oklahoma State held Cincinnati to 13. And Iowa State held Baylor to 18 for the 4th best defensive total. So, ding, ding, Wes, you are awarded 2 points for your 4th place finish.
That's depressing. This was my week. This is my week to really get some points, and I ended up. I mean, when I seen the box score real quick, just 41, I was like, "Oh, dude, they must have railed it up this week, dude." Nope,
they threw for a bunch. So Schuyler, for his scoring offense, he too went with Kansas State. And here's what happened, guys. I got home from Orlando in time to watch the end of this game. And I'm watching the end of it, realizing, wow, Schuyler's in first place with a tie. His Wildcats are in a first place tie. Their 41 points are tied with West Virginia for the most in the Big 12 this week. He might actually get the Big 7. And at the end of the game, Oklahoma State has 38. They're trying to run the clock out, but Cincinnati just refused to tackle. And dude from Oklahoma State, their backup, just plows over 3 guys and goes 20 yards for a touchdown. And I thought, yes, there goes Schuyler, 7 points. So
good teammate you are, Jed.
Yes, great team. We're all competitive. That's why I suck. Okay, Oklahoma State ends up with 45 for first place. Kansas State with 41, tied with West Virginia for second place. So ding ding, Schuyler gets 4 points. Still quality week for the Sky Man. Quality week for the Sky Man.
I love it. Well, Jed, I got to calculate the season standings here real quick. So why don't you tell us how our listeners did? Did we get our Neil Armstrong? Did we get any impressive picks? And then I'll give the standings on the other side.
Came close. I always like to first start with this. We had our listeners. How many got the passing yards right? How many got the beer truck right? How many got the rushing offense, passing offense, scoring defense, and so on? We had one listener get the passing offense right because it's the hardest one to get each week, right? I always like to say that.
Yeah.
Last week it was none. That's one listener in 2 weeks. So he did better than me. One person got it right. And that was Okie King. Rushing offense 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. We had 16 listeners get the rushing offense right of Oklahoma State.
What do I know? Nothing.
Defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 picked Kansas State, who pitched the shutout. And offense, how many got Oklahoma State correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. 8 got the offense right. So
real quick, Jed.
Yes.
Is there a Brian Gray on there?
Brian, there's a Brian May. I don't see a Brian Gray. I do not see one.
So he got none right.
No, everybody shows up. Everybody shows up, even if you got none right.
He said he made his
like
picks.
A full grid.
That was my boss. He said he made his picks this week.
You might want to have a conversation with your boss, Owen.
I think he maybe.
I think that's a crafty fib.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to see him at 6 a.m. tomorrow for the lips, so I'm be sure to bury him.
Well, I'll look again, but here's how it shook out. Here's the listeners. They got 2 right. Multiple got 2 right, starting with, just going down the line here. Benjamin Gilbert got 2 right. Richard Lee Mendez got 2 right. Congratulations to Richard. Jacob Hauser got 2 right. On down the line, Ben in Chicago, out in the Windy City. Ben, you got 2 right. And that was it for the 2s. And we did have another near Neil Armstrong. Got 3 right. Mike Vest. You've heard me talk about Mike. Mike's son is a golfer, Tanner, at Marshall. Heck of a golfer. Has won a lot of awards, accolades, as a great high school career at Shady Springs. Mike's daughter, you've heard me tell you guys, Kendall, is now engaged and going to be marrying Casey Legg.
Hey.
Next summer. Mike got 3 out of 4 right. So I texted him to tell him that. And he said, "You want me to help you with your picks this week?"
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Shots fired, baby.
Hey, guess which is the only one he missed? The passing offense. So not so fast, my friend. He got Oklahoma State correct for the rushing offense. He got Kansas State for the scoring offense, and he got Oklahoma for the scoring defense, and he got Oklahoma State right for the scoring offense. So once again, incredible. Mike Vest, 3 out of 4 correct. The pride of Shady Spring. So good job. 3 out of 4. We got a lot with 2 out of 4. This is different. Man, this is rough.
He got 3 out of 4, 3 in honor of Casey Legg. There we go.
There you go. You got a field goal. You got a field goal in honor of Casey Legg. We're going to post a picture of him there. So
yeah, that's right. This is the part where our talented producer Schuyler throws up the picture. Ah, lovely. Look at that. Wow, that looks like a lot of fun.
How about that?
Gentlemen, here's your updated standings through 9 weeks as we enter week 10. It's coming down to the wire here. This is moving and shaking time. 4th place, Jed, with 7 points. He's doing his best to honor Geno Smith. You know,
that's what I wore at Glenville.
His number at Glenville, Geno Smith, Will Greer, John Elway, other 7s of legend, Ben Roethlisberger, Big O now in third place as Schuyler takes a little bit of a leap over Big O. He's got 17 points. Okay. Schuyler with 20 in second. And then I'm still sitting atop the mountain with 24 points. Schuyler is gaining on me. Owen not too far behind. I'm worried. I feel like I'm the classic team that peaked too early here, and down the stretch I'm gonna fumble this thing. But despite only having, I think, 2 points here in the last 3 weeks, I still got that narrow lead. So I've got 24. Schuyler's got 20. Owen 17, and Jed 7. Those are our standings as we enter week 10.
Real quick, I found Brian Gray. I'm going to text you something. You'll see why I couldn't see it as we're speaking here. He did enter the competition. Brian Gray got one.
I mean, come on, Jed.
Oh, wait till you see this. I'll send it to the group chat. This was what it surfaced as. Brian Gray, again, thanks to Will Gregory, our buddy, for rounding this stuff up for us. He got Oklahoma State as the scoring offense correct, but I'm going to text this to you guys, and you'll see what I was looking at here. But anyway.
That's good. That's good. All right. Well, we'll get to the bottom of this. All right. We'll figure out. We'll make sure that we're not, skipping any details or cutting any corners here.
Looks like it's written in Orabesh, which Wes, the only chance I have. Do you know what Orabesh is? You know what Orabesh is?
I do not.
See, why did I say that? Why did I say that with Big Daddy on the air? I knew nobody would know that. Next week we're going to bring up Orabesh to Big Daddy. I promise you.
All right. Well, put that in your notes. Put that in your notes. If you know what it is, say it in the comments here.
What happened, man?
We're going off the rails. We need to get to a break. That's how we'll regroup. We'll come back on the other side. We'll give our picks for week 10 and get out of here. You are in the gun.
Nobody supports the blue and gold Mountaineers like Toothman Ford. With over 20 NIL deals and counting, Toothman Ford continues to rally behind our student athletes. And it's time we rally and support the dealer that supports the Mountaineers. Not only does Toothman Ford offer the best prices in the state on pre-owned, their never over MSRP campaign on new Fords guaranteed to save you thousands. Drive with pride all season long, knowing you're supporting the dealer that fuels our Mountaineers. Toothman Ford, where cars cost less, in Grafton and at toothmanford.com.
For more West Virginia Mountaineer football content, be sure to follow us on Twitter at In the Gun Podcast.
For nearly 20 years, Fortis has been the nation's leader in providing guaranteed roof performance programs for commercial buildings. Fortis offers roof performance solutions that feature extensive initial and ongoing reconditioning for commercial buildings as an alternative to traditional replacement, with long-term performance guarantees that are backed by global leader Lloyd's of London. Fortis offers a comprehensive range of roof performance management programs that provide financial security, extend the life of our customers' roofs, and make a significant impact on ROI. Fortis is currently improving performance and increasing ROI for customers at more than 4,800 locations, with more than 140 million square feet protected, including many Fortune 500 companies that have turned to Fortis to save money, gain financial certainty, and extend the life of their existing roofs. Fortis has helped customers save more than $520 million in capital roof replacement costs for an average ROI of over 250%. To learn more, visit fortis.us.com. Fortis, roof performance and financial certainty guaranteed.
Let's go, Mountaineer fans. You're tuned in to In the Gun with Wes, the Runaway Beer Truck, and the Signal Caller.
Back in the gun here. It is time to make our picks for week 10. Of course, our Big 12 pick'em. We always start. You know what here? We'll go from last to first. All right. So Jed will lead us off. Signal caller of the week. Which offense across the conference is going to throw for the most yards? Jed's giving me that grin, but that death stare through me grin at the same time. Jed, who is this is your week. All right. You're going to make a late push here. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. All right. You don't win championships in September and October. So who is going to throw for the most yards across the Big 12 this week?
Don't take my curse away from me, Wes. It's all I have. The only power I have. Don't take my curse away. So, who will I afflict with my curse this week? It's pretty simple. 3 times I have picked Oklahoma to pass for the most yards in the Big 12. And in those 3 games, they've averaged 200 passing yards per game. So in the other 5 games that I didn't pick them, they've averaged 374.
Jeez.
So Here's what I say. Heading to Stillwater for Bedlam against the Fighting Gundies and the Rattlesnake people. I am going to shake my Kenny Powers dice, roll it, and get it moving and right at you again, Dylan Gabriel. I curse you. I curse you. I curse you. Throw for your 200-yard average or even the 171 that you mustered last week. You're cursed. Try winning Bedlam with me picking you, buddy. Nice try. We'll see. We'll see. I want those Cowboys rolling over those Sooners. So I'm picking Oklahoma to throw for the most yards. They're cursed.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely dig it. I tell you what, I don't know. I would love Oklahoma losing, after all that. They beat Texas and they were like, all right, here we go. We're in the Big 12 championship game. Come see us, Brett Yormark. So I'm sitting on a fence because I would love for them to drop 2 games and all of a sudden need some help to get into the conference championship game after all that trash they've talked this year and really just for the past decade. And I mean, rightfully so. They've ran the conference, but man, they will let you know it. Sooners fans will certainly. I also don't know if we want to see a Sooners team that's coming off of 2 straight losses, but we'll deal with that problem next week. All right. That's a problem for next. That's we'll finish them off. That's right. We'll put the final nail in the coffin, baby. Big O, your runaway beer truck offense of the week, which will run for the most yards across the conference is?
I'm going with our Mountaineers.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, you're going to pick up on a theme here then, gentlemen. All right, Owen's going with the Mountaineers. Going to repeat performance of last week, basically, is what you're telling me?
I'm hoping we're going to get something going. We're back home, right? We're feeling good. Beer truck's going to be in town, right? The tag team, Wes and Owen, are going to be in town.
Oh, wait, I didn't even think about this.
We're records here, dog.
We're putting our undefeated record when in attendance at the same time on the. Oh, wow. It's a lot of pressure for the old gold blue.
Hey.
I love it.
Feel it.
What's that they say about pressure, Big O? Either burst pipes or it makes diamonds.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, let's just keep it rolling here. Schuyler, our talented producer / co-host / everything. You hear him on Phil Friday here on ITG with Jed every single week. He is going to take the WVU Mountaineers as well, too, as his offense of the week, who will score the most points in the conference. Now, I love this from Schuyler. He's feeling it. He's confident. I mean, guys, you realize we have the lowest, the WVU BYU game is the lowest over-under in the conference the entire week. And Schuyler just picked us his Big 12 offense of the week. So I love it from him in that regard. He is giving maybe 2 fingers to Vegas there. I'm not specifying which fingers, just 2 fingers in general to Vegas there and their over-under predictions.
Vegas has no idea.
They have no idea. WVU, we're 3-0. The big it's hilarious. We're 3-0 in conference as underdogs straight up, and we're 0-2 as favorites. So maybe we should be a little upset that guys. We opened as 8.5 point favorites against BYU. Was it?
Stop.
It's 10 or I think it was less than that. It was like 6 or 7 maybe to open or 8. It's 10.5 now. We're favored to beat BYU
dogs against UCF.
Yeah, and we were 14-point dogs against TCU, and we were 3-point favorites against Houston, and we were 2.5-point favorites against Oklahoma State.
They can't.
They can't get a beat on us. But you know what? That's kind of always been the Mountaineers, hasn't it? Let's hope that this is the week that flips, and we win by 10 or 11. We win by 11 points because it's 10.5 right now. Good teams win, great teams cover. So Owen going WVU as his beer truck and who's going to run for the most yards in the conference offense. Schuyler going with WVU is just who's going to score the most points this week in the conference. You know what? Let's make it a trinity. Let's make it a trilogy. Let's make it one of those things. I'm going to go with WVU as my defense of the week as well, too. Now, I know that might surprise some of you. They've hemorrhaged some yards. They've hemorrhaged some points, albeit with a turnover incredible performance last week. But I just, at home, at night, I think they're going to be jacked up to go and get some revenge on Keaton Slovis. I think they're going to be jacked up to go and welcome another team to the conference here and set the clamps down like they've done every game other than Oklahoma State at Mountaineer Field. Oh, I thought about Texas. I really thought about Texas here as my Big 12 winning a low-scoring game against Kansas State, something like that this week. But I'm going to go with the Mountaineers as well, too. And so that'll complete 3 straight going WVU here on the show. So,
hey, Wes.
Yes.
BYU on the road.
Uh-oh.
Second worst scoring offense in the Big 12.
And that's why that number, I think, has ballooned so much. And that's why it is the lowest over-under. In, despite WVU scoring, 39, 34, and 41 points.
I mean,
think about it, Jed. Jed, if we score in the 30s again, I mean, you would almost think that over has to hit, but BYU has struggled to score points on the road.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to reach perfection here and make this a clean sweep, but I wouldn't dare do that to West Virginia. I'm not about to pick the Mountaineers. Well, I picked the Mountaineers once, and they finished 13th out of 14 teams in passing yards.
Well, if you are a Cowboys fan or you live in Stillwater and you want to thank Jed, you can mail him at 123 Main Street, Davis, West Virginia. All right, so Jed will go with Oklahoma. The rest of us will go with WVU. How about that? We'll see how it all plays out. There's our Week 10 pick'em as we start to head down the home stretch. Our standings, your picks, all those things. We're still looking for our Neil Armstrong. All right, so you can find that link to participate in our YouTube in the details of this episode. The description and all that. You can also find it on our Twitter account at In the Gun Podcast is where you get at us there. Of course, before we go, the one thing we ask of you is to be an ear and tell an ear about your new favorite WVU football podcast. Still plenty to come this week. We've got our Baylor preview dropping our BYU preview dropping tomorrow, and Phil Steele Friday. Always great stuff later on in the week. So it's a full week here as we get you geared up for a big one on Saturday night against the Cougs. Did you guys, real quick before we go, did you guys see the meme? I don't know if I sent it to you guys or not, that was going around, but it was basically like just a group of like young guys in regular clothes and a group of what looked like, like Mormons, like wearing the white tie and the white shirt and the tie and everything, and they're playing cards. And the caption is WVU BYU. If we win, they get or if BYU wins, we get baptized. If WVU wins, they go out drinking with us.
And I'll say this, Wes, they expect a strong contingency from BYU for a couple reasons. Yes, for a couple reasons. First, they travel well, and there's a novelty to this destination. They've never been to Morgantown for a game, so that means something to their fan base. And second, there's a very strong BYU following and Mormon contingency in D.C. I mean, you've seen that temple in D.C. When we played them,
that's why we played them at FedEx Field.
We
5 or 6 years ago, right?
A ton of BYU fans there. So for those two reasons, I expect a lot of BYU folks to be there. So one more reason, if you're listening and you're a Mountaineer fan and you're on the fence, get your butt to Mountaineer Field Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I got some thoughts when we do our BYU preview that drops tomorrow, but you get 6 of these games a year. That's it. A couple weeks from now, it's going to be 10 months before any of us step into Mountaineer Field again. I know there's a lot going on. I know it's fall time. I know we're getting close to holiday season. I know people want to go hunting. People want to do like I get it. We are. Wait a second. Are we going to be? No, wait. Are we not going to be in deer season this weekend? I'm jumping the gun a little bit on that one, aren't I? I think I'm a little bit
down this way.
Yeah, bow season was in early.
Yeah. Okay. But anyways, I get it. It's a busy time of year. People have weekend plans. There's a lot going on in the fall, as always. I know it. But maybe that's the beauty of this being a night game. You still have all day to get your stuff done or do what you want to do for yourself, and then get your butt over to Mountaineer Field because this is the penultimate. I mean, we get one more of these in 2 weeks, and then we get nothing for 10 months. So I'm hoping it's a jacked-up crowd, night game at Mountaineer Field, nothing like it. We're going to go this whole year without playing a noon game, all right? We're going to speak it into existence, I guess, apparently. But, yes, we will have your full BYU preview tomorrow. Phil Steele Friday, of course, on Friday, so plenty to get to as we roll along here in what is a big week for both of these teams sitting at 5-3. 2 teams that have put in some good performances, had some struggles. Excited to talk about it with the guys on the podcast tomorrow. But that'll do it for us today. For the Signal Caller, Jed Drenning, and the Runaway Beer Truck, Owen Schmidt, I am Wesley Euler. Thanks for listening, everybody. You know where to find us. You know where to get involved with the Pick'em. You know to be an ear and tell an ear. You have been in the gun.